I'm alive. Or where that spider went. I don't know. Who knows? Not important. Just yelling, everybody, I'm live. Meadow. Is it Meadow? Meadow. 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 Wait. Okay, something weird's happening on the computer. Right, I'm alive. I'm on, and everything's working fine. I just got to find the program again. I should do this before, but bleh. Whatever. File recent, because this is the fastest way to do this. Sorry, by the way, I might have something in my throat. It's a combination of me sneezing in the middle of eating my shreddies earlier. Was it 1347? Ooh, no, that's not it. That's definitely not it. 229. No. 147. 147. There it is. I've really got to figure out my numbering and thingy system. Okay. Allow access to share my screen. Allow. Bink. Big. Second. I've moved my laptop slightly, so everything's slightly a bit off. And I got something. But then again, that's a stream thing. That's always happening. So yeah. Right. Yeah, I sneezed whilst I was having my shreddies. And in case you don't know what shreddies are, they're kind of like these small biscuits. They're kind of or tiny cookies, I guess, in the States is what you call them. And essentially, what happens is if you bite down on them, they break into thousands of little tiny shards of breakfast cereal, which is fine, but fine normally in a closed system where essentially you've only got the mouth chamber and then you swallow every now and again to get these things into your gullet. But no, this morning I put something in my mouth, began chewing, so I made a bunch of tiny shards of biscuit or cookie, whatever you want to call it. And then I just out of nowhere, no warning, sneezed. Now this opens up the system to other avenues. So when you sneeze, both instead of the closed system just being your mouth chamber and then your gullet, what instead happens is now for a brief powerful second where there's lots of air moving in and out of both of two extra holes that have suddenly appeared in the chamber. It means that just for that split second, there's just shards of tiny cookie bits or tiny biscuit fragments just both sides. They're just going in both of these entrances and exits. Oh god, now I'm yawning. Now I'm yawning. Ugh. It's hell. It's hell. It's hell. So yeah, I had fragments of cookie in my windpipe. Just here, I can feel where they were. In fact, that's what's causing the irritation. And suddenly in my nose. So yay for that. So for the past day, for all of today, combined with my new shirt, because we went out to do some shopping yesterday. So basically I'm wearing my shirt, my John Bear shirt instead of my John Deere shirt. And essentially it's too small, but it's very stretchy. But it's just that it kind of acts like a collar a little bit, and it just is pushing on the windpipe just slightly, just subtly enough so that it's kind of irritating for my throat, which is trying to clear out all of the breakfast cereal cookie gunk out of my throat. So it's like, yay, yay. So I've had to deal with that today. So you might have to deal with that too. So yeah. But yeah, I decided to come on to do the live stream today. I just noticed my hair is kind of doing a weird kind of like thing. Ugh. This is why I don't look at mirrors. I keep noticing weird shit. Yeah, that's why I decided to do this today instead, because essentially I was gonna do 2 streams this week, and I completely forgot that I was going to do 2 art streams this week. And instead, I just have been not doing that. I don't know how to explain it. I've just been not doing that. Yeah. I basically did 1, and then I told myself, okay, so sometime tomorrow maybe I will be doing another live stream, another art class stream and stuff. But no, I didn't do that. And then I realized what day it was today, and I was like, shit. So today, maybe I will do an art stream today instead. But then other things happened. I was gonna do a live stream when I said on Discord that I was gonna do a live stream. I was thinking about doing a live stream today, and I was thinking about doing it then. But essentially, I suddenly felt really tired and knackered, just for no reason. Well, for a reason. I haven't been sleeping. Oh my god. I haven't been sleeping. So essentially, this has been... I've been sleeping very well. I've just had like an hour every now and again, every night. And of course, that's bad. Because suddenly I'll have a moment, like I did today, where I was like all ready to go with the art stuff and the art drawing things, and then all of a sudden not being able to do that because I was semi-conscious. So yeah, I'm just plugging my pad in because I don't have enough USB slots in the computer. Oh my god, why now with the eye shit? Why now? Nope, I'm gonna have to get a tissue. So yeah. Oh, I've got the our next project, like the drawing that I want to do for the next project is on top of my desk. Hey Itchy. Hey buddy. A fun fact for anybody who doesn't know, I'm going on vacation with Itchy, which is going to be awesome. And we've been kind of planning our limbo day. Because we're getting there like a day earlier than we're checking in, so we're going to have an all night long, just kind of chilling in Vegas kind of night where we don't go to sleep. Maybe, I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll find out. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that now. I was kind of semi dreading it because it was like, oh, we're going to be half conscious or fully conscious when everything's shut and we're all asleep and everything. And then I was like, but we'll be in Vegas, and there's like 24-hour stuff all over the place, so it would be super bad. But then again, what if we are super semi-conscious? I don't know. I even thought about like maybe going to Fremont Street, because you haven't been to Fremont Street, I don't think, Itchy. But we'll plan. We'll plan when while I'm doing this. Right. Oh, and I think, Itchy, you've probably seen this because it's been on Discord. But this is our next project after we finish doing the War of Interaction. We're basically drawing this, but super detailed. This is just a sketch with the layout and everything, and it's on the back of my of just a form that we get all the guests to sign and stuff, because I didn't have anything to print out, and I needed some spare paper to doodle while I was in the office doing nothing. Anyway, yeah. If Jeff gets here, like later, I will probably show him that, because I don't think he would have seen it, because he hasn't got anything. He's like not on anything. I'm really seriously thinking. I'm seriously considering just cutting him off from directly emailing him stuff. But I'm not that mean. You know. Where's my pencil? Pen. Whatever. And so basically he'll be forced to get either Discord or Twitter or something to actually see any artwork. Again, I think that's a bit mean. I don't know. Right, so drawing. My chat is open on here. Good. Right. So let me just add all of the layers that are needed. What the fuck? Okay, it's on different layers. I'm pretty excited for the Limbo Day. Yeah, I'm kind of like I've been talking to a couple of people that are going as well, and essentially everybody is going. You know, they're going to be there in the week. They're not going to be there in the weekend like we are. We're the awkward bastards. So, like, it is just going to be me and you. And as nice as that is, I was just double checking that basically any of the friends that are going are basically, you know, when they were arriving and stuff. But it does look like we're going to have like the place to ourselves for a while. Okay. So art stuff. Do you have? Oh no, I want to do that. Do you have any arty questions or anything that you want lessons on today? Because I've got my whiteboard set up. I'm going to make it bigger on the screen so you can see it. I am going to do this. There we go. There we go, folks. Technically, the first early day for the event is like Wednesday or Thursday. And we're leaving a day before the very last thing that's happening, I think. Which is going to be weird. But at least we don't have to deal with the whole, you know, depressing thing of watching everybody leave. That's really sad. Yeah. I do know somebody who's. I know two people who I didn't expect to be going, who are going, and I'm excited to see them because I haven't met them before. I met one guy in the pub in London, and basically, I didn't actually talk to him, but we talked a lot online later. So he's going to be very excited to see me, and I'm going to be okay to see him because it's like it seems to be a very one-way attraction, and I don't mind that. It's just kind of like I'm just not looking forward to seeing anybody besides you, I guess. You and Matt, because I haven't seen my buddy Matt for however long it was since I've been to Seattle, which is a long time ago. But yeah, and of course Chris. So yeah. But I'm not really excited to see anybody. I'm just more excited to be not here, you know. This isn't a bad place. It's just kind of, you know, it's exciting, and it's the thing I'm excited for. So yeah, hard to talk about this without trying to bring up my depression. Oh, by the way, I just want to point this out because somebody will find this funny. I'm kind of a little bit, well, I'm disappointed, and that is going to be funny later. A person who called themselves my friend, basically, we were talking, and all of a sudden he wanted to see me, like video call him. So we did that, and I obliged, and yeah, I couldn't see him, which it's not that big of a deal, I guess. But yeah, he then began telling me what I needed to do to basically get me out of my depression. And the first thing he said was that I should, that I should cheer up. And I couldn't stop laughing at this because it's just, it's an absurd thing to say to somebody who's got depression in the first place. And he kept telling me that I wouldn't let him finish, and I was eager to hear what he had to say, but he just said, "No, you're making fun of me, and you won't let me finish, so don't worry about it." And I was like, "Okay then." So I then began to try to talk more, and then he just stopped the video call. He left, and it was like, "What?" Okay. I then asked him, basically, did you leave just because you were offended? And I was about to say, because if so, I'm sorry. But then he said, I'm just very disappointed. So, basically, I don't know if I'm disappointed in this person for basically calling themselves my friend and then getting moody at me because they were, for not giving me all of their advice that they were going to give me. And then calling me disappointed. You don't call people with depression names. You don't say negative shit at them in general. It's just not a thing you do, especially if they're your friend, right? So yeah, I'm disappointed at this person, and it's really irritating me for some reason. It's just like every time I think about it, I just get really angry instead. And yeah, fortunately, I don't think I'm gonna talk to this guy again. So good things, I guess. Anyway, I'm talking to nobody, I think, because I think, did Itchy leave? Oh no, it's you're here still. Did you have a question or something that I should be getting on? Something that I should be lesson teaching? Did you have a topic or anything that you wanted to help with or anything? Because I'm here. I'm ready to teach. I'm hitting a very, 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 very slow patch in work stuff as well this week. This week that I come back from the sci-fi convention. Usually is a bit slow in the first place, and usually I'm okay with that because I just come back from the sci-fi convention. But it's been even less work. Basically, I've not had any work at all since I've been back, and it's kind of annoying because it's like, I've got to do other things. I've got to do adulting, and it's really annoying because it's like I've got to pay for stuff, and yet I don't have any work, so I don't really have any money. So yeah, it's complicated. It's weird. My mother doesn't understand why I don't text her because my phone plan isn't getting paid for this month. You know, it's a weird thing. Stuff is going strange. Did my computer crash? Is that why? How are you, Itchy? How are you? What are you up to? Right, since everybody's super quiet, well, Itchy's super quiet. I don't think anybody else is here yet. I'm going to Pink. Continue with the lesson. Okay, so I just noticed that the horizon is not a perfectly straight line. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah. So in the last episode, we went through a bunch of stuff, including Itchy's lesson, and also we went on to do the sky and the clouds and all that stuff. And it was a lot easier than I was expecting, so that was good. And I think the sea and the sky look really good here. I'm very, very pleased that the backing is good and works well and stuff. And I mean, that looks fine to me. I'm a bit concerned about the blue in the water kind of mixing too quickly into the yellow or the orange, the very, very light orange that we have here. But I don't know. I do like the clouds, although I do feel like I could add a kind of like cloud layer, but I'm not sure yet. I is good. Well, that's good. Yeah. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using the brush some more, but also we're going to basically be doing the cliff. And there's a problem with the cliff, and that is that you can't really see it very well. You know, with all the paint and stuff, but I can see if I get rid of that just briefly. And if I add another layer, then I could do the foreground as well and just ignore all of the background. So that's something. My voice is really shit tonight. Yeah. We have to figure out what colors the dog is going to be, because the dog, can I get a pic? Can I get the because the dog is important. Although it's supposed to be a wolf, it's a wolven. It's the, you know, they're the wolven Toaxians, I guess. So yeah, I actually haven't had a chance to draw since the last one. I really like the ocean drawing though. Yeah, the background is pretty good. We just got to make sure that the foreground and the actual subject match. You know. So yeah, I needed the background to judge the lighting, how the lighting is going to be for the rest of the painting. So yeah, and now we have that, I can do that. So that's good. There is one problem, and that is that the background, when the background is on, well, I think you can see that it kind of it kind of I need to change the color somehow of the sketch because I can't see it really amongst all of the blue and the orange, and that's annoying because I need the background to kind of tell me what kind of lighting I need, you know. So we'll figure that out though. I think I'm just going to basically just turn it off and then turn it on occasionally and see if that works. So yeah. We're doing the dog this picture. This we're just doing the foreground and then we're going to do the subject. So yeah. So what we're going to do for the foreground is we've got a bunch of like kind of a grassy area on top of the cliff. So we're going to be doing the cliff bit, and then we're going to put the grass on. And I'm hoping that's not going to be too tedious because basically it's going to be lots of blades of grass, and that sounds like it's going to be a pain in the butt. And yet the ocean wasn't that bad, so this might actually be not as shit as it's going to sound, you know. Is this layer on top? Yeah, that's good. Okay, so I need a new layer. And it's going to be on top of. Let me just test. Yeah. So it's going to be on top of that layer, and that's good. Right. I don't know really what to talk about. I do not know what to talk about while I'm doing this. I'm just going to figure out stuff, I guess. Okay, so we need a kind of earthy color, but it's an alien planet. So essentially, we can basically make it any color we want. Do we need it? Do we want it to be rocky? Do we want it to be earthy? You know, kind of like browns, rich, or very, very, very rich colors. You know, so it could be any color really. I'd stuck with the oceans being blue because they just are. You know, the water. It's water. You know, there's no elements in it that are going to diffuse the light in a certain way. That's why the ocean's blue, by the way. It's because it it absorbs water. Actually, like changes the speed of the different wavelengths of color that enter it, and basically, when you do that, everything's blue shifted. So in other words, it looks blue because that's just the way that light goes through water. It's the same with the sky as well. That's why the sky is blue. Science is cool. Exactly. Science, it's science, and science is cool. Yeah, so for this rock, I think that I've got a kind of like a reddy color already on here, and I'm liking the idea. It's a more like it's a very, very iron-rich soil or clay kind of cliff that he's on. So we could actually use that kind of like a burgundy, a rich burgundy color, maybe. What do you think? I'm going to play around with the colors and see what looks good. That looks red. I want a more browny red. Like that color. That's a burgundy. Let's get the brush. Is it a big brush? Get a big brush. Jeffers! I knew Jeff would be here sometime, so that's cute. Not that you're boring or anything, Itchy. Not that I like him more than you. It's just, you know. He does answer me when I at least talk to him and ask him questions and stuff. Again, I'm not picking on you, dude. I'm just saying. Hey, Jeffers. So I'm just going to reiterate just real quick. Today we're doing the foreground of this picture. So I'm just figuring out what to draw here. For the cliff, the actual cliff side. I love you too. Well, it's a good thing. But like I said, I don't know if I want to go more Earth traditional, because Earth is the planet we're on. But this is an alien planet, so it could be literally any color that we want. I do want a bit of grey in there somewhere. You know, some the pebbles and some rocks and stuff, maybe scattered about. But for the actual cliff side, it could be any color. It could be white. It could be like chalk, like Dover, like the white cliffs of Dover. But yeah, seeing as a stone comes in any color, it's kind of like we could pick any color. And I already had burgundy, or I had red on the color palette already, so I was thinking more of a reddy color. I was just testing that out. Don't know. What do you think? It can't be blue. It can't be anywhere near blue, because we've already got blue for the ocean, and I don't want to screw with that too much. I don't want it to clash too much. So I'm just experimenting with this kind of like burgundy-ish color that I've got now. If you have any art questions or anything, if anybody has any art questions or anything they need help with, let me know. And if you're watching this on playback, then by all means type in the comments below. I do read all of them, so go for it. Why chair? Why did you move? Why did you move just now? It's so annoying. Right, so I think I am going to go with the baseline color. This is my baseline color for the Earth. The Earth. No, that's American. I'm trying to make it sound Scottish by adding an extra E on the beginning of the word Earth. But now it just sounds like the word ass, but with a lisp. I'm gonna go with a bigger brush. Yeah, big brush. I'm gonna make kind of just straight lines. I don't want to leave the background color to leak through. That's the problem. And then I've got a tiny eraser for some reason. Why is my eraser so teeny weeny? Pink. With a slightly smaller brush, I think, now, because we've got the base color. I like that color tone. It looks very nice. Yeah, like I said, I'm going with a more iron-rich kind of color to make it look more organic. I'm going to go with a slightly darker as well, and an even smaller brush, just to give it kind of like that. Kind of like just make it more organic. I think I'm going to go smaller and smaller as well, and just do all of these extra lines. It looks a bit bark-like with this pattern I've got, but the idea is to make it look random and organic and like it's rock. We are going to put grass and stuff in front of it, so essentially it's not going to be super obvious that it's just a paint that I'm doing. Even smaller brush. Get some of the outlines. And a tiny bit darker even still. I want to make this semi-photorealistic. Semi-photorealistic. Doesn't have to be super photorealistic, just semi-photorealistic. Although it's definitely not going to be that. It's definitely still going to be a painting. Because I'm good and stuff. I admit that I've got some talent and stuff, but I'm not that good. I'm like a CG artist. It's looking more organic and more earthy. So already, so that's good. I'll tell you what, Itchy, I really just want to meet you at Monte Cristo's right now. Well, I'll be waiting there, you know. I found that place and I was like, oh, this is perfect. How do I get there? Where's with this line? That's new. Let's make it a bit more rough looking. Rough. Do I need to do more, or should I just come back to this and touch it up later? I feel like if I do any more, then it's going to basically end up looking way too messy and busy compared to the rest of the picture. So that's where the grass is going to come over it. So basically, I'm just airbrushing a shadow. Airbrushing a shadow. Right, now we actually have to figure out the grass. So, it's an alien planet. So, it's a mixture of greens and yeah, I guess. How does that look? Oh, that looks fine. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I think that matches the lighting levels pretty good. Okay. Just reminding myself of the lighting. Okay, so base color for the grass. What do you think? What do you think? I do like the more. What's the color? What's the name of the color between green and and blue. It's like aqua, but more green. What is that called? My brain keeps telling me it's more like a cyan color, and it's like, oh, no, stop that. I hate that. I hate it when people make up names for colors when you have the basic colors, so you just should just call it extra greeny blue, you know. So I don't know the names of all of the extra colors. It's really annoying. I know magenta is slightly purpley red, but that's all I got, you know. And it's only because there's a self-storage company in my mother-in-law's hometown, and essentially whenever we go there, whenever we go to see her, it's just there. It's always on the road in and out of that town, and there's like it's called magenta, and it's basically the color is on the sign. So essentially, it's like, yeah, I know what that color is. So yeah, it's a bit dark, but I do like the slightly blue, blue grass kind of effect. Am I still an airbrush? Yeah, I am. How does this match with the sky? Let's have a look at that. Oh, that's good. That's actually perfect. It's not too blue, and it's not too green as well. It's just the right amount of green. Yeah, I like it. I like it. So we have that as the base color, and then we make make slight alterations and add extra like dark bits and light bits and stuff. The bit behind the dog doesn't really matter so much, so I'm not that worried about this bit. And I'm not gonna fill in that too much either, because that's going to be done with the detailing for the grass. Lots of detailing in this bit. Also, the dog's bed is also going to be, where he's flattened the grass is also going to be a slightly darker version of this color with a slightly smaller brush. So again, not worried about that so much. This is literally just so that we get an idea. I do notice that this color is screwing with my eyes slightly when it meets the background sketch. That's going to be a problem. Ugh. Any ideas on what color the dog is? Anybody got any ideas? Oh, I was also thinking about basically making another persona. And making it a corgi. And I got this idea because a friend of mine wanted to, well, they're thinking about basically commissioning me to draw a character for them, and this character is going to be an anti-version of their current main persona. And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting, like what do you think? And what exactly are you thinking? And they were basically like, oh, it's going to be just like my normal persona, but just with opposite aspects of my personality and stuff. It's good for a base. I like that it's rough as well. I'm not liking the fact that I can't really see much of what I've doodled. So yeah, I was thinking about basically doing the same thing, maybe, you know, kind of like doing an anti, you know, all of my bad bits of my personality put into one, and slight, you know, slight opposites to my dog, you know, and making him a corgi for some reason. Well, actually, no, because basically, I've taken a couple of tests online. You know, what breed of dog are you and all that stuff. And one of the main ones that I took was one of the main ones that everybody's probably taken by now is I kept getting corgi. But it was like, oh, good. Because now I can't stop seeing it when I basically look in a mirror. Right, how does that look with the lighting? It's good. It's going to be better when I get all of the extra details and the other layers of the color marked down. But yeah. So yeah, I was thinking about basically making it a corgi, and it's gonna hate hugs, and it could be the new replacement security guy for Der Hund, the place that Five runs. Because obviously Pop can't do it anymore because he can't really, he can only just fit in the doors, so it's really hard for him to be the security guard anymore. So yeah, we're gonna have a tough corgi, I think, but I haven't figured out exactly what I'm gonna do with this character yet. How small is this brush? I'm just gonna make it slightly darker, not a lot darker, just slightly darker. Oh, that's good. That's actually good. I like that. I'm just going to make a little color reference patch. So that basically I can grab this color whenever I want to. Because I'm gonna be using a bunch of filters. So this is, well, a bunch of filters, a bunch of different stuff. It's not UHG. I think it might just be a bad connection here because we're in the middle of a storm, according to my weather program. Can you guys see and hear me okay? My connection went down a little bit just now. It didn't go off. It just went down a bit. Yeah. Computer, stop it. According to this, it's fine. Although only one person's watching. So I'm guessing that's you. I'm guessing that's you, Itchy. I love that it's going to be a corgi. Yeah, it's going to be basically like I'm kind of thinking it's not going to be chunky. It's not going to be a chubby corgi. It's going to be muscular corgi. So short, stubby arms, but muscly. I'm kind of thinking it's going to be like I was thinking to myself, it's going to be me if I didn't have my accident, you know. So basically, what I would look like if I was still just all muscle as opposed to being muscle and fat, you know. So yeah, I'm just going to hate hugs because it's the opposite of 5. So yeah. And he's going to just be like all of the bad stuff of my personality. It's just going to be him, I think. I haven't decided on actually if I'm going to do this yet, so it might not happen. I'm just saying it's a thing. I've got lots of different random art projects that I've got to do now. So yeah. Okay, it says that it's back. This computer says that it just failed for some reason. There we are. I can see the chat again. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know though. What do you think? What do you guys think? Yeah, I can only just see the outline of what I was gonna do here. Where does it end? It's a multi-layered thing, so I'm not doing it perfectly, obviously, as you can tell. And that's going to be all tufty up. But I've got a feeling that's a detail to put over the subject when it's actually in the picture here. Maybe I'll just increase the brush size. Oh my god, that's so much better. I see to see him if he comes out. Well, yeah. Plus, I mean, you've got so many variations on your glasses characters that go give them all partners. None of them can be single. And I kind of like the idea that all of the partners of your iteration of your characters are basically partnered up to like my characters. Although Boulder hasn't got a he hasn't got an official family. Although his backstory does include a family. I did have like a backstory of like he's so old because he's an earth spirit and stuff that he's actually had he had a family at some stage, but I never really went into the detail of his story. And I'm okay with that. Oh my god, what? It's this laptop is just super sensitive. So it keeps disconnecting and reconnecting the chat. It's pretty annoying. Is it actually working? It seems to be. Okay. Oh, now it's telling me that only I am watching. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so we've got that. I want to get the lighter, the kind of like straw-like stuff done now, I think. So we're gonna go lighter. I'm not gonna go lighter, I'm actually just gonna go greener. So it's gonna be around about what's this like? Oh, okay. Yeah. I like that, it's nice. It's nice green. Nice green. 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 Why am I saying it like this? It's stupid. Okay, so I'm going to go around the edges. Kind of just doing like little bows. And it gives the rest of it a look like it's got grass without being fuzzy, you know? You know how you can accidentally make grass look like hair? Well, yeah, I'm trying to avoid that. What is this? We've got a bit of a problem, and that is that, remember how I'm slightly colorblind? Well, I'm slightly colorblind to certain colors, certain shades of green. Yeah, this might be a mistake because I'm having trouble distinguishing this green from the other green. It's okay up here. Up here I can see it, but on the actual thing, I'm not seeing it like at all. I'm not seeing the I'm not seeing the difference. I'm going to layer this, by the way. It's not going to be all this color green for the edge. But it is for that edge, but the distant edge has to be lighter slightly because it's going to be closer to the sky. If that makes sense, it's closer to the sky color. It's so it's got to be lighter because the sky is brighter than this particular shade of green. So make it organic and less kind of like pokey. That doesn't make sense either. And then this is going to be slightly darker, so yeah, we're going to do that later. But let's blend. Now let's blend. Enhance. I can't see the color change, so it doesn't really do anything for me. I don't know if I'm doing this right or not. I'm trying to tilt the screen because I'm using the screen to kind of like make it look better, although my neck just clicked, so probably less of that. I'll make more patches over here. Get a phone call from your cousin. Dude, it's fine. Dude, it's fine. You don't have to be on every bit of the stream all the time. It's okay, dude. I understand. Everybody's got lives. We're all living our lives. I'm not mad at you if you go away for a bit. Well, I'm not a monster. Well, I'm a cuddle monster. There's a difference. It looks great. Are you sure? Looks a bit meh to me. I'm not entirely sure yet. I think I'm going to go back to this color just real quick and just do some outlines. See, I told you I'd need that back at some stage. Ugh. I'm very handsome kill monster you are. So that's fine, I don't mind that. Okay, so we've got these two colors. I want an even darker bit just for the for this tuft. I want it to be slightly darker. Actually, no, I'm gonna go very light. I'm going to go with the light color. I don't know how that looks. Let me just get rid of the outline. Is that there? I can't see if it's there. Maybe an even lighter. Oh, I like this. I like this a lot. Okay. Oh my god, now I can see this. This is better. Actually, I'm going to redo the edge as well. Just touching up with this. Most of it doesn't need touching up, well, except for little bits like this. But yeah, so we've got that tuft. Are there any other tufty bits? I don't think so. I think there's just like that and this patch here. Which may or may not be redone anyway later, so I'm not that worried about it too much. And then we got this tuft in the semi foreground, which I wanted to make it look like it's not. So we'll have it sticking up. Again, I'm not that worried about this super much. And now we want to go even darker than this color, just for a deep shadowy look. Just for the extra oomph for the shadows. Again, I'm just leaving this here to have a kind of like a reference. It's kind of like a color reference, and just a couple of quick. Basically, when you're doing a painting in general, not just on a program, but when you're actually doing painting in real life, on a canvas and everything, the more color variations that you've got, the better. And this is kind of like a palette. So yeah, the more color variations you get, the more you can blend, and the more you blend, the more realistic something looks and stuff. And I'm just using the hard. I'm doing the hard texturing right now. So yeah, things like around where this pebble's going to be. If you can see, there's a couple of pebbles. So I'm basically outlining the pebbles early where they're going to be. Kind of giving them shadows and extra depth and stuff. And where these feathers are going to be, I'm also going to do just the outline around the edges, around these edges. The dog itself, though, I think I'm just going to overlay this kind of color in it to kind of give it more texture. because it's the main focus of the picture. Plus, I might need this color some more later because the wings are going to cast a kind of a deep shadow. So that's also why that color palette is there as well, just for an extra bit of help. So yeah. I'm going to fill in these white bits with this color. Otherwise, that's just going to bug me. Kind of messed up a little bit here, but I'm going to fix it by just kind of adding extra. Shut up, desk. My desk is squeaking. There you go, and it looks slightly more grassy because of all the different layers and stuff, but essentially it is just one color, just multiple shades of one color. But I do like the blue. I do like that it's a more kind of like you know, the bluey green kind of really adds to it right now. So let's see how that looks with the background as well, ignoring our palette. Yeah, I mean it looks like it matches. See, now I can see the green more. Now the blue's here. Is that weird? Ignore the palette. I will get rid of that by the time the picture's done. But yeah. Let's just remove the outline as well. I'm actually pretty happy with that. I'm happy with how that turned out. It doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look great, but it doesn't look terrible. So yeah. Right. So we just got to add the pebbles and where the feathers are going to be, and the rest of the shading and stuff like that is going to be done when I add the wings on the actual subject. You know, the extra foreground bit. That's why I'm not so worried about that extra tuft of grass that's in the middle of the patch, and why there's a shadow for nothing in the middle of the patch here. So yeah. What color should the dog be? What color should the dog be? Should it be white? Should it be cream colored? Should it be like a golden color? Brown? It could even be red, like a, you know, hair red, not red and burgundy and magenta, you know. Although we could do that. I mean, I'm not against it. It's just that I've already got red for the ground now as well. And we can't have like exotic colors because we've got blue and green, so it really kind of like limits us on the exotic colors here now. Basically, we've used all of the color wheel. So yeah. I'll have a think about it, but if you could also like have a think, then let me know. I'm going to add the pebbles. And the rock, the rock. I'm going to do the rock first because I can easily make grey on any color palette. Maybe white. We'll make it a white dog. So it'll be shades of grey and cream. Well, actually, no. Let's make it a creamy color. It's only because I've got like I've accidentally made a white rock, kind of, just there. I was like, oh, puppy, I shouldn't have done that. Plus cream, creamy color is more organic. Maybe. I kind of wanted two tones, so we could have like a cream color. So what would the other color be? Because I want it to be two kind of colors, because I want the kind of the contrast with it with the wings. The wings are also a different color, you know. The original dog that we got the reference for, the the size reference and stuff. I'm just gonna get an extra texture layer for the rock. We've got one rock and we're going to have different pebbles. Oops. So I'm just trying to concentrate on this pebble. Grey? Yeah, but grey's basically white. It's basically the creamy color, just slightly darker, you know? Right. If we're going to have white, then we're going to have to basically, what colors contrast that nicely? And I'm thinking that the colors that contrast that nicely are like blacks, reds, like a fox, you know. Well, yeah, foxes have red and black and white, so yeah, that makes sense. I mean, these are Earth animals, and this is an alien, so yeah. But yeah, like even animals that have white usually have like brown and black. You know, if you have grey as well, it kind of makes it look slightly. It too, like you said, white. If it was just pure white, then it would have to be mixed in with another color, like grey or like brown to make a kind of creamy color. So yeah, but if we're going to have like that color as a base, then there's going to have to be another color as well. I'm actually very proud of that rock. I know that's weird to say. Ignore the palette in the middle of the sea. I'm very, very proud of this one rock in particular. Yeah, the pebbles look realistic. That's good. The grass isn't done yet because, like I said, we've got to account for the wingspan. So we're going to do extra shading. That's why I haven't gotten rid of the palette in the background yet, because the palette is going to be integral for when we finally do the rest of the dog. So yeah, you love the rock too. But yeah, that's the bulk of the grass though is done, so that's good. So I'm happy with that. I think I might need to touch up on the lighter parts of the grass, but for now, I'm good. We're just trying to figure out what color the dog should be. So far, we've got rocks are so dark. Again, I'm glad I've got two kind of rocks. I've got like the pebble, and I've got the pebbles by the grass sprig or whatever you want to call that, and then you've got the one lonesome rock that's just in the most foreground, and it's just a right rock for some reason, just here. I was going to dot the cliff edge with a bunch of rocks, but I thought that would be a bit too corny, you know. It won't contrast as nicely with the background if somehow it wouldn't look right. Plus, I was too proud of the texture that we've got on the cliff edge already. Anyway, yeah. So me and Jeff have basically come up with like a white dog, but I want a separate color for just for highlights, you know, for like the underside of the wings. For extra bits, maybe even the ends of the paws, something, you know. I don't want it to be just all one color. I mean, we could do that, but I feel like it would be more interesting. Plus, it will give us some extra fun bits to do with the, you know. So, yeah. So far, yeah, we've got like a white dog. I need to know this now, by the way, because you see where there's two lines at the bottom? Those two lines are shadows for some feathers that have come loose. So basically, I want to know what color to do the feathers. I just noticed that my beard is curled up a little bit for when I basically had my braids in. So yeah, maybe add black too, Tubbs, for the dog, or brown. Black's interesting, actually. No, black could work. I was thinking, you know, personally, I was thinking like a red, you know, like white and red, you know, just a very classic combination. But yeah, I mean, it works for skunks, it works for badgers, it works for a bunch of animals. But like black could work. Like it's got like pure white fur, and then on the underside of its wings, it's got black feathers. So yeah. Like I said, I was thinking about red and brown, red or brown. But now you got me thinking about the black. I kind of like it. Phone is close to death. Itchy. Aren't you at work? Don't you have like a charger? Itchy. Itchy. Bad itchy. Why does it look like the pebbles outlined? Not going to think about that right now. The problem with black is that, like, lighting that is going to be irritating as fuck. But not impossible. Shut up, Storm. Not impossible. Let's do a test. Let's do a test. I'm going to zoom right in. God, when you zoom right in, it really does look like hair, doesn't it? The grass. It's terrible. Look at the rock. Get distracted by the rock. So I caught a spot on the back of my head. Right. Okay. So I want a dark grey. How dark a grey is this? That's actually perfect. That is actually perfect. Okay. Bring back the sketch. So we got one squiggly hair feather. Can I go super small with my brush? Yes, actually, I like that. And we got one slightly thicker feather. They kind of look like leaves. Is this a pebble? We'll deal with this missing pebble in a minute. I couldn't see it in the contrast. Son of a bitch, there's a pebble there. I've got to draw that pebble. Yeah, they kind of look like leaves, but that's only because they've got a long hair-like stem, and then they kind of go into more like an earth feather. But that's just the way that Tyroxene hair is. So let's worry about that in a minute. So I'm going to do all of this in grey, and then I'm going to go over it in the darker colour later. Really dark grey. I can't believe I missed out the pebble. The feathers look neat. Well, they're kind of like leaves. They're kind of leaf shaped, but that's only because it's like I said, it's an alien race of my own creation. So I get to design all aspects of their anatomy, including what their hair looks like. Okay, let's get rid of this for a second. What am I doing? There I am. Right. I'm going to go for black. Not hard black. We're going to go for just off-white and off-black. So it's not totally dark. I want to save that for like real hard shadows and stuff. But yeah, I'm just going to go around this side of the edge. I kind of covered up all of its shadow, but that's what those bits are for. Is it me or is it looking slightly purple? It looks like purple. I don't know. Okay, so we've got like a kind of a fluffy, shadowy effect with the smaller brush, which is neat. I like that. I didn't cover up so much of this one shadow for some reason, but yeah. So they've got a long stem. I'll just tidy that up a little bit. A long quill. That's what they're called, isn't it? I don't know. Right, so now we've established that as the color. I'm actually going to save that in the palette over here. Bigger brush. It kind of looks green now. It's next to those. So I don't know how colors work. That's just strange. Okay, so this pebble that's bugging me. Where are you? Where are you, pebble? There, you're supposed to be there. Okay. Okay, so are we going to go for a grayish pebble or a brown pebble? We done the other ones are brown, so a smaller brush. It's like a bean, like an evil bean. And we're going to have this one be dark as well. We'll make it. Kind of looks like a conker. Does it look like pebble-like to you? I think it looks pebble-like. Maybe a small brush. Maybe just a pea. There you go. Looks like an evil bean. Just a lone pebble by itself. Again, I'm going to touch that up later, but yeah. So, really? Noisy. My office is noisy, darling. So that's what we've got so far. I'm going to save that. Save. So we're going to go for white and not white. We're not going to do that tonight. We're going to do that tomorrow. But as far as the background's done and the foreground looks pretty good, I'm going to say that that's a pretty good success actually, because it doesn't look too off-putting with the background at the same time. You know, it does match the background pretty good. The background's a bit more fanciful. You know, it's very nautical. But right. So I'm just double looking and making sure that everything's in the right place and stuff. Everything's very nicely set out for when I do the touching up, because background's fine. Background doesn't need touching up. Background is perfect the way it is. I'm not touching the background anymore. Foreground though needs work, because the subject is kind of in the foreground. It's the subject, but also it's part of the foreground. So although I'm going to make, you know, another layer for the foreground for the subject, it's still on top of the foreground. It's really annoying when that happens. The middle ground, that's where it should be. But we've done the middle ground already, so yeah. So therefore the foreground can't be completed until the subject is done. But I'm okay with that, because that means that we know everything is. The touching up would look fine. I'm really pleased with the with the shading that I did before I did the grass. I was gonna do that afterwards somehow. Then I figured that I better do this now, and it's a very simple shading technique. You just select black, and then you go to airbrush, and then you basically where you think the shadow is going to be. In this case, it's the cliff edge, where the grass meets the cliff edge. I basically just did that, just a slight airbrushing of that, so that it kind of gives off the effect that there's a hard shadow there. You know, it just lowers the lighting of very specific areas, and that's basically what a shadow is. So that makes sense. And then I put the grass on top of it, and I chose a lighter shade of the grass to do that, and I'm very pleased with doing that, because essentially it makes the shadow look even better somehow. And we didn't go over the background at all with that, so that's good. But yeah, we got slight details in the foreground. Like I'm very pleased with the rock. I'm not going to touch up the rock at all. Rock is good. The pebbles I'm also pleased with. They're kind of like, they're all uniform. You know, they're all kind of like browns and stuff. I didn't move the color wheel at all, so I used all the browns that I wanted to. All of the greens, I'm very happy with the grass. But like I said, the grass isn't done, because we're going to need to do the grass again in certain spots. We're even going to have to, where I've got this patch of grass that's on the pad where the dog is going to sit, we're going to have to redo that, but on the actual subject layer. So we're basically going to have to do like bits of grass coming up over the paw, and there's no way of doing that without actually cutting out the layer, or basically erasing part of the paw in exactly the right places. So instead of doing all that, I'm going to just draw the grass over the paw like it was there, like it's in front of it. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else left to say with this. So There is one thing that's bugging me that is slightly jarring, that I'm annoyed at, and that is that the cliff edge, or the very cliff edge, where you can see past the cliff to the water, on the actual cliff part, like this, it just looks very jarring, you know. This stands out somehow. I don't know what about it stands out, but it stands out. I kind of feel like it shouldn't. Like the grass part itself looks like it will blend in very nicely with the water, you know, in the background. Oops. Well, it looks like it blends in very nicely with the background, so I'm happy with that. But then you get to the very hard edge of the cliff, and it kind of it does look like it stands out to me, and I don't know why, and it is bugging me a little bit. I don't know why this is bugging me. This is pissing me off, but it pisses me off. I don't know what to do about it. That's the thing. I don't know why it pisses me off, so I can't do anything about it. Oh, it's probably nothing. It probably looks fine, right? It's just me. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to end this lesson then, I guess. So, what have we done? Let's just sum this up real quick. Apart from everything that I've just said, we have done the foreground, the entirety of the foreground. First, we started off with the actual, the layers of the earth. Basically, the things that we need to do, and that's very easy to do. You basically do start with layers. So you do like, and I'm not talking about layers on this program. I'm talking about layers when you're painting. You basically start with whatever's going to be closest to you, and blocking the view of other things you do last. So in other words, because the ground is going to be slightly obscured by the grass on top of it, I did it first, because the pebbles and stuff are going to be on top of the grass. I painted them after I finished doing the base layers of the grass. Stuff like that. So we kind of learned about layers, I guess. I'm learning as well. I'm basically learning about like this program as well as I know a bit about painting, not a lot myself. So this is a lot more forgiving because it's a program, so I don't have to worry about smudging the paper or the canvas or whatever. So yeah, plus I've got more. I can do this relatively quickly, whereas we would have to wait for paint to dry and stuff before we continue to use other colors, which is the thing I hate about actual painting. So yeah. So yeah, to me, this is working out pretty nicely. It's going a bit quickly. I'm wondering if that's going to be a thing. If that's actually going to be a thing with all of this very fast painting. I got a feeling that there's going to be something about the dog that's actually going to stop us from just doing the dog next and then completing the picture. You know, I got a feeling that that's not going to be as easy as I'm making it out to be. You know, this was relatively easy. The paint, the sky was easy. The ocean was easy, and the foreground has been easy. So it's like there's going to be something hard, something unexpectedly hard. It's like the blue picture that I was doing. By the way, Jeff, you probably won't know this, but I am doing a blue picture. I'm doing characters, and I'm turning them into their either from their furry versions into human, or from human to furry versions of them. And essentially, I was suggested by somebody, by a Chihuahua, to basically start with Baloo. And I thought, wow, that's going to be easy because I like Baloo. I like, I can imagine him as a person. This is going to be very easy, right? No, it took all day yesterday to do that. It took all night, in fact. Last night. It took all night last night to actually do that. And I've only just started doing the inking for that, to actually do the inking. In fact, I'm going to give you a quick preview. This is all saved, isn't it? Yeah, it's saved. Okay, so I'm hoping this isn't the picture that I'm thinking of. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, that's the inking of Baloo as a human so far. Because and now all of the green stuff that you can see in this picture now, this is all rough. It's not going to be in the final inked piece. Okay. It's basically just, this is where the layout is and stuff. And you know what was the catch? What made him look weird? Well, weirder than this? It was his fucking legs. I'm gonna bulk his legs up a little bit. It was his fucking legs. Basically, his legs were way too long because I did him human proportions. I gave him human proportions. You know, human proportion belly to his belly, his actual belly size, if he was a bear. But he was human. I basically widened his shoulders slightly because Baloo the bear has got no fucking shoulders. I don't know how that worked. I actually gave him a chest. He didn't have a chest. I've even got a colour for where the hair's going to go as well. So yeah. His hands and stuff, that's super rough. It's going to be done better when I actually do the ink, because all I've done for the ink so far is the face. So yeah. You know, his face was super easy to do. His face was super easy to do. I literally just had a picture of Baloo like right here. I basically transferred some of the, all of his humanoid features over, and then I basically gave him I shortened his face because he had a snout, and gave him a nose. So it's very distracting. I gave him a human nose, but made it kind of like wide and pudgy, and instead of an upper lip, I basically, because his upper lip basically is the end of his snout, I gave him a mustache to basically compensate for that. When I do Little John, because I'm supposed to be doing Little John next, I'm going to have to try not to copy this design. But I've got an idea, because Little John and Baloo are actually subtly different. Baloo has no shoulders. Little John has shoulders. He has big, meaty arms. Baloo the bear doesn't, somehow. It's just weird little details like this that you completely miss. But yeah. I could basically get away with doing like giving him just stubble, you know, as opposed to giving him a beard or something. I might give him a beard still, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, there's the issues with that. That was going to be a very, very easy picture, but instead it ended up being super hard. So yeah, I just want to show you the reference picture that I was using. So that you get an idea of what I was doing. Do you see? I shortened his hat as well because I made him slightly less Disney. You know, I made him slightly more realistic. But yeah, do you see it? Basically, I just shortened his mouth a little bit. And shortened the hat. I kept his hair. Made his ears smaller and more human-like. Moved them down a little bit. Gave him hair because, well, he's a bear, so he doesn't need hair. So, yeah, but again, this isn't even the final bit, so yeah. Sorry. Ignore that. That's on screen for way too long. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna a semi naughty picture that I did for somebody. You can't see anything naughty, so don't freak out, YouTube. It's just funny to me. Right. There we go. Right. So that's that. I was like, why is this open on my computer? So I opened that file accidentally when I was trying to find this file because they're not in the right order on my computer for some reason. Right. Now I brought this in to my office because I thought I'd better. But for the next project, after we finish the dog, and we are going to work hard on this, hopefully all year, this is going to be a proper study on how to draw this particular thing. It's a space station. I'm trying to get it so that you can't see what it's printed on. But it's a space station. So that's going to be next. That's going to be the project. The project for next time after we've done the dog. I designed the space station specifically to mimic the proportions and properties of the new hotel for the sci-fi convention that I go to, and this is going to be the thing that's going to win me the art competition. Hopefully, I mean, it might not. Still, I don't know. But it's a space station I've designed, so we're going to figure out exactly how. to basically draw all of this stuff and paint it, like properly detail paint it, make it look. I'm hoping to go for like a kind of a 2001 thing. But if you remember, I showed a picture of the spaceship for the last hotel that I stayed at, that where the sci-fi convention used to be held, because it's not being held there anymore after 6 years. They're moving to this new place, and this new place is going to be, it's basically based on something else. However, yeah, so I was going to have like a picture of this. So it's two pictures really. It's a picture of this ship departing this space station, and that's going to be the next project. So in other words, it's going to be like it's going to be both for the art competition and for kind of something nice to put in my portfolio, so that I can actually show off to other people. Because essentially, I don't have much besides furry art to show off to for job interviews and stuff. When I show off my art portfolio, it's all very old stuff, and it's mostly concept art. It's nothing's finished and stuff, and I want to show off something that I can actually show off. And the design of these two particular spaceships, well, spaceship and space station, would be a very nice thing to basically have like a flagship kind of thing to put on the front of my portfolio, So yeah, we're gonna really work hard and basically figure out how to do textures for all the different textures that you need for a spaceship and stuff, and figure out how to do like proper space perspective, because that's going to be a thing. And all that stuff. Oh my god, it's going to be a lot more complicated than this dog picture. It's very organic, the dog picture. This is going to be very, very hard lines and stuff. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, drawing a space station is going to be just fun. So yeah, that is the next thing that we're going to do after the dog. Together, hopefully. My ear is really itchy. I have no idea why. Anyway, yeah, that's that. I'm trying to think of anything else to say, but I think I got it all. The next lesson, I did 2 lessons this week. Jeff, I don't know if you heard this already or what, but I did say at the beginning of the stream that I did 2 art streams this week, the 2 art classes this week, because I was planning to do 2 art classes this week because I missed last week because I was away for part of it. Oh my god, sorry about this. I have an itch in my ear, and there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, I meant to do 2 art classes this week originally, but I completely forgot about it after I did 1. So that's why I did 2 and stuff. That's why I did this one, because I suddenly realized that the week is over. So essentially, yeah, I better do 1 soonish or now. So yeah, I will be back tomorrow on ProfTUBBS to just do the ProfTUBBS weekly stuff. So I'll be back online. But yeah, next class will be probably on the Monday, but it could be on the Tuesday. So probably around about the same time, but not set in stone yet. We'll have to figure that out. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow then, Jeff. And anybody that's watching this, then basically watching this on playback. Then if you want me to cover something in a kind of like an art tutorial lesson thing, then by all means leave it in the comments below. Leave your idea in the comments below, or leave me just a like a question or a topic that you're having issues with, just either in this particular art program or just in general, and I will try to do my bestiest to basically come up with a lesson plan based on that to help you. So yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'll see you tomorrow, Jeff. I'm gonna wait until you say goodbye this time before I hit the goodbye button. I'm gonna get the goodbye button ready, then I'm gonna wave. Yeah, I'm gonna keep waving until you say bye, or until my ear itches again. Which, to be fair, it's trying. It's trying. So our robe came off my leg. Let's put it back. I think I might have lost Jeff. It's been 5 minutes since he last wrote a message. So I'm not going to sit here and keep waving. Either that or there's some killer delay. There might be some killer delay. In that case, I'm probably going to just go. Okay. See you tomorrow.